Om Shri Ganeshaya Namo Namah. Greetings to everyone world over, all our brothers and sisters across the globe. We extend you a very warm welcome on this wonderful evening, 9 p.m. India's time. And we are taking the series India Tourism 2047, how India would shape in the coming years and when India would be celebrating its 100 years. At that point of time, how Indian tourism will be. That is the agenda which we have taken up and we are discussing and we are planning. So, sharing the vision with all of you today, ladies and gentlemen, we have got a very distinguished guest, Mr. Anil Kumarji. He is the founder, Tourism Cloud from Hyderabad, and we are moving ahead in our series. And today's topic, which he has taken, is very scintillating. That's called sustainable tourism. So we propose to organize approximately 108 webinars related to India Tourism 2047 with different speakers, experts from within India as well as overseas. And welcome to the world of travel and tourism. This industry touches almost all segments of the economy. Whether you talk about agriculture, manufacturing, you talk about art, craft, handloom, heritage, culture, cuisine, dances, music, costume, languages, flora and fauna, wildlife, natural resources, man-made resources, any kind of a forest, flora, fauna, everything when you talk about is the part of travel and tourism. What is the main objective of this series? Why are we carrying out this program? Because when we talk about 2047, one of our prime concern is what could be the career opportunities in travel and tourism for our youth and what kind of a future and what kind of a happiness they can enjoy while working with travel and tourism, hospitality, aviation, and its related industries. They may be entrepreneur, they may be startup, self-employed, or employment, whatever we can think of. Services exports is one of the focused area because India has declared that 1 trillion US dollar equivalent the money. In this particular series of 108 episodes, we would be touching the policy part, the planning part, the marketing part, the SWOT analysis part, economic impact, social impact, cultural impact, environmental impact. At the same time, how technology is seeping in, artificial intelligence and different gadgets, how do they play important role? What kind of education, what kind of skills, what kind of MSME, what could be the global networking strategies and areas like MICE, wellness tourism, medical tourism, cinematic tourism, niche tourism, all that we will talk about. You would also be meeting various experts of the associations. You will have some of the prominent NRIs from the industry. You will have some technocrats, and we all will be having lots of case studies, group discussions, life experiences, because we are developing the blueprint for 2047. We extend a very hearty welcome to everybody. And here comes the legend of Indian tourism, God's own country, incredible India, 12 champion services sector through the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, CEO Niti Aayog, and presently G20 Sherpa of India, Mr. Amitabh Kant. Ladies and gentlemen, coming from the armed forces, I also owe a lot to my defense welfare activities and defense welfare call for my retiring and retired defense personnel, how they can have a reoccupation with the travel and tourism and service industry ventures. During pandemic, we all took a pledge and there was a great initiative that was Dekho Apna Desh. Now, India Tourism 2047 is responsible tourism, it's environment conservation tourism, it is sustainable tourism, it is cultural display and cultural heritage tourism. Today is the World Heritage Day also. So, with these words, let me extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Anil Kumar Gade, the founder, Tourism Cloud, and he's joining us all the way from Hyderabad, and he's going to be with us, sharing his vision with us. We extend a very warm welcome to him. It's indeed a great pleasure because I learned so much about him from Mr. Saurabh, that he's a gentleman who is doing lots of activities related to tourism, whether within India or with Southeast Asia or a couple of other countries globally as well. And he has got different hats which he is wearing. But today we have requested him, let's talk about sustainable tourism, because sustainable tourism is very important for all of us. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, join me in extending very warm, hearty welcome to Sri Anil Kumar Gadeji, the founder Tourism Cloud. You can unmute your mic and we go on the journey together. Anil Gadeji.
Yes, I'm just fixing this mic thing.
Hope. Sure. It has come.
Yeah,
it has come.
Finally, I could come.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar. Thanks for giving this opportunity for me.
Wonderful.
I'm indeed, it's a great thought, that you're actually leading. Having a vision for 1947 in line with what the Prime Minister is also actually,
going to 2047.
Yeah, I mean,
from 1947 to 2047.
Exactly.
Yes.
100 years is not just merely a time. Actually, it is giving the whole nation a direction where we can actually make India as the Vishwa Guru. Now, this word itself gives goosebumps for me, because I was thinking what I can actually propose for tourism. The first thing is not actually any target of making MICE as the world's best or medical tourism as the world's best. I thought there should be something more beyond that. And in that thing, I could only envision one thing called India as a Vishwa Guru. Now, India has given yoga to all these countries, and every of the other country in the world is cherishing it. Now, can we give something through the vehicle of tourism and try to make the world adopted? And that's where I could see tourism has got many of these jewels with it. And today we all celebrate the World Heritage Day. And in the heritage itself, we have got one of the jewel hidden. And that's where I'm saying, yes, India has got so much of culture, enriched in languages, in different locations, and the food and cuisine. Now, every of the element, now if you elaborate, maybe you will have thousands of jewels with us. Now, in this particular session, I'll be just talking about only 3 agendas. I don't even say agendas. Basically, I will put forth 3 questions. And, India is very known for its what you call thought process. We are evolved in our thought processes. We don't complicate things. We will try to put all the complicated things in a very simple verbatim so that people can easily understand it. And to our surprise, the entire world's question list is only limited to 6. Why, what, where, when, who, and how. Now, I don't even take all the 6 at one go. I'll only take 3 which are more best, out of them, which are more actually making us to think. And the first thing is why. First, the question is important even for our session. Why this tourism in 2047 has to be discussed today. And if at all we are keeping any of the targets, why that particular target has to become important. The first question is the need, why it is essential. Now I'll say, yes, somewhere it has to be triggered in our thought process, the need. And it's a completely challenging question to answer now, because I see somewhere tourism was born at one juncture where the need was actually not there to serve the community or anybody around. The purpose was very selfish in its nature. I want to have fun and I want to travel. Now I started rethinking this question itself for this 2047 agenda. Can we actually, go with this kind of tourism into the next 2047? I question it very seriously. And that's where the tourism entire industry says tourism is actually for fun or it is without purpose. And my earlier version of learning says, I was always trying to make my world, life into this existence, always relating it to purpose of existence itself. I'm always questioning. And that's where I'm thinking, can tourism address the question of the purpose of life? Then probably we will get the agenda. Now I'll try to club 2 things here. One is Paropakaradam idam shariram. Now I'm born to serve someone else or the nature or the creation around. On the other side, tourism says it's not for any of the purposes. It's only for fun's sake. Maybe this particular question, the world might have a different opinion in the Western approach, but the Indian approach, I own it to my heart and say no. Maybe for the year 2047, I wanted to give the world a thought tourism is no more a fun and only oriented to fun as a first priority. Sorry, I will not be able to propose that agenda. Can we slide it for second? The fun could be the second one. Now the first one has to be a purpose. Now I'm completely reiterating this question. The tourism with a purpose is the need of the hour right now. And here onwards, we have to completely give this direction for the entire world also. Okay, let us make a purposeful tourism. And the purpose, sometimes I said, Paropakaradam idam shariram, means it should not be only for your fun's sake, it should be delivering the most positive output out there, impacting thousands of lives, impacting and teaching thousands of people out there, driving the entire, psychic energy of the community into doing wonderful things for the future. That could be a kind of wonderful idea before us. With that, can we create a tourism product is what the question people ask me. And I say now with this purposefulness itself, the first question called why tourism is needed, I'm actually trying to say, if you are able to use tourism as a vehicle for conducting all your best deeds for the world out there, maybe it will be the best vehicle also you should be really adhering to. Now this adheration will be giving a purpose. Yes, tourism should exist, but this time tourism is not for the self reason alone. It could be the second or third priority, but the first priority is whichever place I am heading to, I should be thinking of what I can contribute for the place, how I can contribute for the environment. My tourism becomes very purposeful. Now, in this, first question, I am trying to draft. Maybe the India tourism also has to redraft their entire need for tourism, not for the sake of generating finances alone for the nation building sake, but it could be going beyond, and it could be giving individual an instrument to serve the nation. If I'm traveling, I'm an individual person going for the, with an agenda of serving the nation out there. Now, this is the first question I said. So purposeful tourism is the need of the hour. That's our first thing. Now the question is, we already have got a real good agenda. Okay, now let us make it as a purposeful tourism. I say this is not actually compromising any of our fun in that. That's the beauty here. So it's only reorienting our priorities, but your happiness is always there. Now I'll go to the second one, how it has to be conducted. Why and what. What is the need and how it has to be conducted. Now here I'll include one example. I hold for a second. I'll just go put this light on.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's something is wonderful which Anilji is making, and he has given such a beautiful kick to the whole discussion. Purposeful tourism, and he says the fun got to be second priority. First of all, we should understand what is the purpose of my travel. Great. Please go ahead. By the time you were adjusting, I thought, let me fill the gap.
True. Hold for a second. This light is creating a real good trouble.
Okay. Please take your time. So thoughtful tourism, when we are talking about sustainable tourism, we are talking about, that's what is the prime discussion today. And our youth, be ready. We'll give you something for your career part also. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Sure. I'll go to the second question. First is why, and the second is what. What is the thing that we are going to propose for the youth now? I'll not try to drag too much. I'll try to directly connect you with what actually you can do. Now this 1947. If I'm 40 today, maybe if I'm putting ahead for another 20 more years, I think I'll become a little old. So whatever the tourism I'm trying to do, whatever the tourism I'm trying to propose, sometimes I might not be the active participant in it. Now the whole discussion gets a direction. What has to be done? Now that particular what has to be done, I'll say, yes, these millennials who are there in current generation, maybe hardly around 10 years to 15 years of age. Now suddenly you become that age group who are the action-oriented people. Now I'm just asking you to be ready yourself with this philosophy that we should do wonders, and this tourism will be your vehicle for doing these wonders. And now what are the skill set I'm trying to propose for all you people, and how these skill sets can be infused into you? I'll immediately jump. I'll not talk about you should be knowing the gastronomy skills, or you should be knowing the hospitality skills. I'll say maybe these are all secondary skill set I will be talking about. And what is this first skill set I should be mentioning about? I'll seriously ask people to have an introspection here. See, every time it is our culture, which is already thoroughly, they already did all this churning and they gave me the words. Only thing is, I should be using them timely. Now, what is this introspection I'm talking about? The skill sets I can teach you with a timeline of 3 days to 3 months to 3 years. Now, what is the introspection I'm asking you to do is, are you really the kind of people that India was actually envisaging as a character built people? Because India was always like, talking about what is the purpose of education, right? And everybody was saying, I should get a job, I should get a decent power and all this stuff. But suddenly India says a different connotation. It says, Shilena Shobhate Vidya. The end of education is your character has to become a kind of, it should reach to a zenith in itself, where the wisdom is attained. You should know how to conduct yourself, and that is the first requirement. And this is the need of the education. Now, in this, I'm asking the people to have the youth in specific. There are a lot of current trends and what is anticipated in the past as a personality. I'll quote about your mobile usage. You are using mobile. You're creating a lot of real good reels and every other stuff. Now the question is how truthful they are. Now suddenly I go back to what India was talking about in the past. India was talking, if you see the emblem of this, the lion symbol of India, in the bottom it says, truth alone triumphs. Satyameva Jayate. Now I'm just saying many of these reels out there which I see are the truthful. Now, why I'm talking about a personality development and your reels, and now I'll come to tourism. You are making a lot of videos. Are you really understanding the destinations and making these videos, or else you are only trying to make these reels for just becoming one more, person as an influencer in the market and try to get millions of followers out there? If at all the truth is not substantiated in any of your content creation, now the content is not created by your mobile. It is actually created in your brain. Unless your personality is evolved to such a level where you understand the whole perspective of life and whole requirement of what you're supposed to deliver in this world, maybe the outcome will suffer. For whatever reason you might say, whatever good number of likes you might be quoting me, I'll not be happy with it. I'll just quote one of the examples. Imagine a case if I'm going out as a tourist, and there were a lot of likes and shares and everything, and suddenly I talk to you as a person or phone, say, I want to come to this place. Can you just book a ticket for me and tell me how much it cost? Everything starting with the explanation. Yeah, this destination is absolutely going to be stunning you. But mind you, the stunning view might be there in the rainy season. And just for selling your ticket sake, you just lie in the first place. Yeah, it is going to be absolutely brilliant. So the lie starts there. Now everything, it is going to be, like a lot of effort for us to go there, talk to the locals and arrange for a car and everything. Mind you, you might already have all these connects and networks. You should have simply said, sir, my service requires this kind of compensation. Please pay and we will be delivered. So you try to unnecessarily burden the whole information content with a lot of lies. Now, when I say lies, they are not limited to you. They are not limited to the likes out there, but they are actually creating unnecessary expectations in the people's thought process. Now, suddenly when people go there, the kind of reviews they write with their own reels, they will be creating a devastating effect. Now, over a period of time, I've seen a lot of youth even talking about, the hype created, happy oriented activities. If I'm going in a trekking and all, it might be fine. But if I'm taking ganja there, if I'm trying to talk about drugs there, maybe there is a kind of question. What are we exactly trying to promote? Do you want to see every of the destination having fun as a prime agenda and offer everything that the tourist is asking for? I'll say no. There's a limitation. If at all, example, if a doctor is asking, you are asking a doctor to kill yourself or give a medicine which will give you high, doctor will say, no, my professional ethics will not do that. So if similarly, every of your reels, every of your likes, every of your comments on the internet, whatever the contents you are creating, be mindful of it. Be truthful in that and try to understand the destination and the cultures in the local place. After complete understanding, only write a content which will be need not be like very attractive to the customers out there, but it should be truth in itself. Now this itself is you're going to be one of the best skills I think you should be possessing right now. Imagine a case, if I start watching any of the videos on YouTube or anywhere, my life might need another 100 turns to come back. Even in 100 years, maybe the YouTube videos will not be ending. The content is not at depth. We have sufficient content. What is missing in the whole internet world currently is nothing to be trusted, is a cynical situation we are into now. So can you be a kind of person who is very meticulous in putting even a single word out there without proper referencing and researching and thorough understanding of the character of the destination? I say this is the first immediate requirement. Now, the second thing is, I'll go back again. Gandhi, he says, hey, if you are a real good educated personality, you have got more responsibility to serve the nation, go back to villages and try to serve the villages. Now, there is a lot of, jargons which are very practically challenging for you too. What if I say the 2047 might not have a village? How shocking it would be. Today you like a place, you want to go there, and after that the first thought that comes to your brain is, oh, it will be wonderful if I've got a 3-star hotel here. Now suddenly your papa or you will start looking for areas to buy that or own the land. Subsequently you want to build in or pump in a lot of cement into it without even understanding what this rurality is all about. How the rural culture was actually surviving all these years, 6 lakh villages, how they are panchayat, how they are surviving. Are you trying to learn something from the villages, or else you are trying to pump all your toxic thought process and kind of comfort seeking behavior into those people? Now these are practical challenges. Yeah, you think you are not doing any wrong or injustice to people out there, but I say no, I have seen people who doesn't understand the character of a village. And in a way, you might be very pious and completely unaware of your practice, what you're doing, but it might be harming those villages very bad. I'll give you a small example. I was in Chhattisgarh and talking to people saying that, hey, tomorrow there is a tribal community visit. Let us come back in this particular kind of attire. Imagine a case, there are 20 youth out there. Out of them, 2 will start questioning me immediately. Don't tell me all this crap. We know how to do. We know how to conduct. I said, no, you please understand these rules. They are very important instructions. Please follow it. Our only submission was them to follow them meticulously. But the next day, what we see is the guys will come back and the girls will come back with a lot of goggles and half sleeves and very judgy pants and t-shirts. Now we are going into a tribal village where the women might not even have their blouse. They only have got one single cloth as a drape. Now these people will start looking at you and they'll start feeling what they don't have it. So they start comparing. Hey, I don't have a goggle. I don't have a perfume. I don't have these kind of jazzy dresses. Suddenly, rather than they hosting you, they start feeling little, insightful of themselves, saying that we are not having the resources for us. Now you're teaching them something from their full sustainable lifestyle. You might be pushing them to have a t-shirt. Mind you, all the t-shirts that you wear, they're not just t-shirts. They're nothing but a plastic textile. Now, what we're trying to do is we are actually giving our toxic nature again into these rural villages. Probably this has to stop today itself. If you stop it today, after 2047 also you can see the villages. If not, every village will start turning back into another city. Now you can't cry saying that there is no peaceful destination out there. It is you and me who is spoiling these destinations. We want to go with a water bottle. We want to just take them and then throw it as a garbage. No. Now, again, it comes back. You are supposed to go back to villages, not for giving the kind of polluted thought and pollution into these villages, but to create a kind of thought process among those villages, saying that this is what we are missing in the cities. Please respect your cultures, respect your ambience here. You're not actually having a shortfall of all these buildings and other amenities out there, but this is what actually is needed for every other citizen as a bare minimum requirement. And see again, the Indians are minimalist in their initial wordings and approaches. Now, whatever you learn, If at all it is making you as a real person, really, possessed with a lot of capitalistic thought process to possess everything out there. You want to have a car, building everything, only to possess. No, it was only about having the minimal thing, what is needed for me is the first thing. And the second thing is dana. Dana need not be only giving money out there. The service, paropakarardham idam shariram is not just by only giving money. You need to go these villages and start telling these people, this is the actual education you should be possessing. Conserve these villages for our city's sake. Let only few cities survive and they produce all the economy needed for the country. Let the country cherish again and again in the same villages, continuing the agriculture practices and feeding every of the tummy out there. If we are able to give this idea, now the question will come how to conduct it. Now you should actually take the tourism as the vehicle. See, you go to the place, you tell the people, let us have the, hosted by you. Now you don't construct a building here. I'm choosing, don't construct a building. Don't get into the assumption that I require an AC. Please, this is the wrong assumption. You give, they survive. And they actually pollute the environment there. If you ask very vehemently, I want the rurality out of this, then they will be asking, okay, you like this? Let me continue like this. In this way, the culture will be completely protected because they are hugging it. Now, every village out there, it will be like a tourism product in itself. How many millions of product tourism has got in India? Oh my God, out there in the global community, it's only the same business suit. It's only the same culture we are projecting out there. The India's differences are not like a shortfall. Mind you, these are the attractions, are the beauties of India. Now, this is what we can do. When I said what you can do, work on your thought process, work on your personality, learn out of your education what India is all about in totality, and whatever you're putting as an information on the internet, try to make a very meticulous, judicious, well-researched, thought-provoking activity out there with the end results in mind. And after that, when you actually putting in an effort, go to these places, serve these communities, gradually train those people in creating destinations. Now, mind you, if there are 6 lakh villages out there, minimum one product out there. Now 6 lakh youth, I can bet you, your village, it becomes a product, then your livelihood is taken care. Not just your livelihood, but the village, usually tourism is said about, if a product is made, if it is a direct 2 employments visible to your naked eye, mind you, there are indirect 8 another invisible employments created. In the sense, if you are getting employed, your friend in that village is also working with you as 2 employees. The person who is supplying the vegetables, some person who is bringing you from the railway station or the bus station in their bullock cart, someone who is cooking for you in their kitchen, someone hosting you in their houses in a homestay. There are 10 village people who are getting employed. Now, if at all 6 lakh villages out there, I'm talking 6 lakh employments for you. But your friend is joining 12 lakh employment. If it is multiplied with, what you call 10, 60 lakh employment. Mind you, so much of output. Now it is not going to be a one-way traffic. The villages will give you so much as a complete pure product. Example, why you need to buy it from a store out there? Why not you have a local connect and the local rural market to procure your everyday regular market requirements? Example, your turmeric, your dal, your rice, everything is coming from the same place. Why somewhere in the middle there's 10 people out there who are actually trying to multiply the costing and suddenly make your product into a processed food? You go there, you connect, there's a market connectivity out there directly. I'll give you a small example. After this Chhattisgarh example, I always talk to people, when you're going to a place, it said like, if you're going to if you're being a Greek, be like a Greek, right? Similarly, if you're going to a village, you should immediately, it's a responsibility of you. First, complete your duty, then you ask for your rights. Go to the place just like a villager and see the ambience, immerse yourself in the ambience and come back. Then you will be not harming these villages or any of the destination. Now, coming back to the other side of the coin, I'll give you how many agriculture products are there in India. Everything becomes an attraction. If your grandmother in the house is cooking a wonderful dal chawal, that itself can be an attraction. It is you who has to initially believe it. You don't need to once again make an existing hero into 100 times exponential growth, growing hero. You need to understand those invisible heroes and try to bring them into the limelight. That makes a product for you. I'm just giving you one small example how the rural tourism can actually become a product. Now it could be health tourism. It can create, your staff retreats of all the big companies. Why it only has to happen in the, in the metro cities? They already seen these metros. They might have traveled to all these countries. Go back to villages. Go back to a lot of these places where you will be immersed. And suddenly you will say, this is the experience I never had in my life. India has got so many of them. Now I'll give you, because now we are talking about, how is it only the small products we are talking about, or something big can be done? I'll give you a wonderful thought process from the past. Silk Route, when we were not even aware when it started, when it actually grown, and how many countries it served. We don't even have the, what you call thought even now. But mind you, the Silk Road has connected countries. Mind you, suddenly I'm going from a village perspective into international community perspective. Your product is not just your product. You can also have products which can connect with the other countries. Now, when we talk about yoga, it was part of the health tourism. Now yoga has crossed the boundaries. Now, if you are an expert in the yoga, mind you, you are a world-renowned person required by every other person. So whatever you think is a small thing, no, it is not a small thing. It's only you need to make a conviction, I can make it big. It can become big. Now, yoga is one example. Now I'm talking about the products. Example, I'm just talking about Buddhism, because I'm talking about India as a spiritual destination in many ways. Example, if you see Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism, there's so many thought processes which were born out of India. Now these processes actually work on the inner transformation. And I'm telling you, the ultimate fun people were thinking and assuming it, as an outcome of tourism, whatever they want to cherish is not actually the word called fun. They're actually looking for bliss. They're actually talking about inner transformation of how to conduct their personality, negative traits of anger, not able to trust anybody, how to reduce the stress. So if at all we have got the spiritual diamonds with us, why not you enlighten all these souls with those existing diamonds? So go back to your scriptures. I'm not proposing any single thing. Everything you read, that's the beauty of India. India gives you a kind of, open ending. Question everything and assimilate everything into you. It will not ask you to differentiate. When we said we are Indians, we are everything in it. Every religion also is part of me. Now, with this kind of approach, I'll give you one tourism product which we are actually curating, and we are saying it's going to be a wonderful thing. It has got two folds. I'll start with one example of Buddhism. Buddhism, it spread into Asian nations, and there are 30 World Heritage Sites spread in 12 Asian nations. I'm visioning my own personal agenda. Can India, by 2047, reach to all these World Heritage Sites which are related to Buddhism and try to tell them, can we create one more festival for Lord Buddha, just like Buddha Purnima? It could be Buddha Vana Mahotsav. Now, what is that I'm trying to curate here? I am trying to address the world's greatest challenge of this time, climate change, using the Indian product called spirituality, and try to tell people to mend their spiritual energies in such a way they create a solution for climate change. If we are able to create this, see, world is talking about sustainable development goals. In the Sustainable Development Goal 13 talks about social action, how to make every individual as a party or partner in working for climate action. I am giving a simple tourism product here. Let people travel for, in adherence of Buddha to all these World Heritage Sites. Let there be a global bonding with all these countries to India, 12 nations, and it's a multi-track diplomacy with a very small, soft solution called tourism, spirituality, and planting in the name of Buddha. Now, India will give Bodhi tree to all these World Heritage Sites, and they create a festival. See, a climate-friendly festival for the climate's sake, which will reoccur every year. Wow. If we can realize that by 2047, see, we don't know who created Lori, we don't know who created Dashra, we don't know who created Eid. Why not we create one more? See, Indians are very broad thinkers. They don't have boundaries. Now, can we create this climate, action-oriented festival in the name of the religion or spirituality and give it to the world as a solution to fight climate change? Now, this could be a product. You can own it. continue. All the world is, there to host you. These are the kind of things I could see. There are n number of things we can create. And the beauty here is you only need to work with very minimal investment. I'll give you the third perspective here. The third perspective here, I'm talking about the changing direction for the investment in tourism. I'm asking not need to be majorly in large site constructions like hotels and restaurants and huge auditoriums. No, somewhere you need to rethink. There should be a balance. Only for my sake, you do it. But the major employment can be created in domestic tourism. Now, can we create the entrepreneurs? This is a thought for the government. If I'm investing 3 crore budget as my budget for India, probably I'll say, can we create more destinations? There is a problem with the existing destinations. Imagine a case if I'm talking about my own place called Hyderabad, I might be having hardly 10 products in Hyderabad. And Telangana is only known for Charminar. I'm not doing justice to my any of the tourism interventions. See, can we create the 11th, 12th, 13th, and 40th and 50th destination in Telangana? Here, what it requires is talk to these youth. Tell me how your village, how your panchayat, how your mandal or taluka district, and what is it should be remembered for? How it is going to be a unique place in the world? Can you tell me? They will tell the characters. The youth requires helping hands. Now, timely, you need to go there and tell, okay, if you're drinking, you're only drinking for the fun sake because you don't know how to conduct your leisure time. Let us invest your leisure time into curating a destination. Now, destination curation is not like one day, like you construct a building in 1 month. No, it will not happen like that. You should talk to people, internalize your agenda into their thought process. The synergies has to be built in people. This will require your entire 5 to 10 years of time. Your employment is ensured. 10 more people's employment is ensured. Now, government's requirement, what I'm asking is, can you give them, these young minds who are going to build the future India, a matching grant? Okay, you give me in kind your land. Tell me how you're going to construct your bamboo hut with your minimal resources and bare hands. If I'll calculate them, okay, if it is amounting to 5 lakh, I'll give you 5 lakh. Now let us invest in your village and you show me those output. What is the place you constructed, how it is going to host your homestays. That I'll take account. I'm telling you, I'll take money from you as a taxpayer's money. I should not be constructing tourism building. The problem here is tourism constructing tourism buildings and tourism conducting their own events and making for their own department salary sake. Somewhere we are going wrong. Government is for people's sake, strengthening those people out there. Now the investment has to take a direction like this into the villages. Somewhere the cement madness will come down because somewhere I have seen there are 50, 20, 100 properties constructed. Only one is working. All the other things are going, astray. Nothing is working. These things will go down. And the community will love the tourism department. Community will start participating with tourism. So this is the model which I'm suggesting for the government. Minimum of 5 lakh, I can bet you there could be 10, the matching grant, the community will invest would be 5 lakh. In 10 lakh, it will create 10 employments. No other industry you can create with these many number of employment, which will be growing graduously without creating any pollution out there. See, tourism is such a wonderful thing. If you pack it well as a climate-friendly, eco-friendly, waste zero, energy, positive, carbon neutral kind of destination, these things will give you continuous income with very bare minimal, investment, with greater employment to the community, and they will only grow in a positive side. There will not be negative sides of it. So a conscious, climate-friendly, sustainable tourism can happen in the rural villages, creating more employment and destinations. So this is what I just want to say. Why, what, and how. Hope this will work for our youth.
Wonderful, wonderful. What a chronology and very practical, feasible, viable, sustainable, implementable. All that is possible with this. And I'm pretty sure the youngsters must have got, because we got to put our thinking cap and we got to move in that particular direction. And the best part is, which you have given, that every time we start thinking, oh, by the time 2047 comes, India will have so many cities. India will have mega cities. Why not we should think about that India would sustain and India would preserve, India would display, India would project, but at the same time, today on the World Heritage Day, we say we would still be sustaining our heritage in the form of a rural tourism, our villages. I think that was a wonderful introspect, and that was something remarkable which you have given to us. You also touched on Buddhism. We will take that topic one of these days separately because a lot is to be done on that as well. Because logistically feasible, we got to work out. I always take from this point of view when the people are coming from world over, and like there is a Makkah Medina, every year people have to go. Similar way for other places, Vatican City and all that. Everybody for their religion is going. Why not all the places which are related to Buddha in India? We should have proper facilities. If a Japanese tourist is coming, I should have something catered to everything suiting, viable to their expectations. If somebody is coming from South Korea, we should take care of. Somebody is coming from a particular country, we got to be taking care of that. I think it requires a lot of efforts, but it is feasible. And what name have you given? Because we were talking about Buddha Purnima, but you gave one more name, that why not to have another festival?
Buddha Vana Mahotsav.
One Mahatsav. Okay.
They will have Vasa Vasa season, rainy season. The Buddha
Understood.
asked them to have it. So that particular time is the perfect time for planting.
Yes, because that was the time Buddha, particularly rainy season and all that. A lot of things are Saravasti and Kushinagar and Sarnath and Bodh
We
Gaya.
actually completed planting in 3 World Heritage sites, and this year we are planning to plant at Ajanta and Ellora. After that, we want to go to Nepal, Sri Lanka, and the journey has to start. And
Are
we
you
see
anywhere associated with International Buddhist Confederation?
Yes,
IBC?
they respect this thought process as a very creative, environment-friendly solution, and they love this so much. And I
Okay.
should be working with them for going beyond India.
I have done 50 programs with Venerable Dhammapiyaji.
Yes, he absolutely, loves this agenda.
Great. I'm so very happy. Anilji, there's a lot. And finally, before we close the session, would you be kind enough just to tell a little input of what is, the founder tourism cloud? When we say, because cloud computing, everybody knows it. What is this tourism cloud?
Yes, this would be something like a helping hand for all the youth who are listening to this. I'll just say the thought here has come up in terms of the gap, what we have identified in what you thought as tourism and how an ideal tourism should be. There's a huge gap between these two. We found the academicians talk about sustainable, responsible, climate-friendly travel. But when it comes to practice, we see a lot of people only go with a single ashtray thought called enjoyment, fun, and just do whatever you feel like doing. No, this is what the gap we want to fulfill. Now, for that reason, what we have started doing is we started inviting all the tourism research scholars who are working in various tourism products and destinations for completing their PhDs in 3 to 5 years of time. Now, the question we pose to them is, mind you, you're going for one particular destination for conducting your research and taking their energies from the community for 3-4 years. What is that you're giving back after you got your PhD? You are fulfilling your desire to become a doctorate, but what the villagers have got out of it. Now, it can't be like a one-sided game. You should actually give back to the community. Now, don't be feeling like you're a lonely person. Now, while we collected all the PhDs, we became 200 plus PhD scholars with us working on sustainable tourism. Now, suddenly a PhD scholar who is doing a work with Rajasthan villagers, he has got 200 people as an audience to listen to him, to give him a guidance, to make his experience into a wonderful world-class case study. And suddenly he feels, oh, there's so much I can do while doing my research itself. This is going to contribute back to the villagers. This way, we can create a number of global case studies which are curated by the experts like a tourism PhD scholar. Now, this is the good practice which we can gradually transcend into other places and tell people just like you as youth and tell you how you can make your place a better place. So tourism cloud is in that agenda wherein all the academic education translates into practical project out there. And we handhold in.
Okay, great. So just for the benefit of our audience, like there is a platform called SSRN. I'm just recollecting, I got a thought from your vision. That is a Social Sciences Research Network. Now, this particular website also people can just in their own time, anybody who does PhD, they just put their PhD thesis onto SSRN. I do not know what is it a net or is it a .com or something? I long time back I've come across. So Social Sciences Research Network. Do you have any information? How many people are doing PhD in tourism or tourism related topics in India as on date? Do you have any stats on that?
I can just give you a rough figure, but it might not be the op figure, but yes, the rough cut I could give is so far we have got around 200 colleges or universities listed with us as tourism departments. If we project even 5 PhD out of each institution, there could be 1,000 people currently working in specific tourism institutions, but there's also a catch in this. 1,000 might be a small number, because even the other institutions which are not designated tourism institutions like IIT, how come an IIT? Yes, they do have relevant studies happening in tourism. So projected in tourism, there might be 1,000 scholars working in tourism specific institutions. Out there might be another 2,000 more people in different IITs and IIMs working again on the same subject called tourism. So every year, if you are just able to catch these projects, you'll get such a wonderful working energy to roll out your thought process, whichever is creative from the government side. We can see them in action. You only need to compensate their travel expense and everything. Government will get a pro bono input from all these people, and we can be at service to the government in this.
Okay, great. Because that you have added another information. I was so inquisitive to know about it because in a very polite, in a very humble way, while serving the uniform armed forces, I'm the first Indian Army officer to do my master's and PhD in tourism way back in 80s, and I'm the first Indian Army officer to move on deputation to the Ministry of Tourism. And God had been extra kind that I got an opportunity to set up 5 institutions for the Ministry of Tourism and drafted the whole MBA tourism course for India.
Wow, I'm also veteran here.
God had been extra kind. And I think, as you made a mention, there is a lot which can be done. And if we take all the ingredients and segments, culture, heritage, cuisine, dances, music, fun, humor, anything, 20 kilometers you go, the dialect changes in the country. It is so versatile. Somewhere it is snowing, somewhere it's a desert, somewhere it's very hot, somewhere it's very cold. It's a beautiful country giving, and catering to every person visiting India. I think there is a lot which can be done. And the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister, let's work together with you. Because whenever the Prime Minister Sahab mentions and he talks about India becoming 5 trillion economy, I say we can go up to 10 trillion. Secondly, if we have to create 25 million jobs, we can go up to 50 million jobs. But we got to be having a focused, pragmatic, and realistic approach. And finally, everybody is true to their own salt. I got to be true to my own uniform and to my salt. And I personally feel nobody sees India so much in depth and so much in the fragile locations and so much in the border areas like the armed forces personnel. Why not? There should be a reoccupation of the defense personnel in travel and tourism activities.
Creativity and innovation, there's a tremendous amount of scope in this. Just like you mentioned, there are ingredients in the basket. You just need to put culture, you need to put language, you need to put place and everything. It becomes a new recipe altogether, and students have enormous opportunities in this.
Wonderful. We will work together, and I'm pretty sure, I think in a very humble way, I'll learn a lot from you, and together we will work out the best team. And I'm very keen. There is an India Tourism Club. I must share with you. We have got 250 veterans of travel, tourism, and hospitality and airlines together on a common platform. With your consent, I'll bring you in that group. You can share your vision, your information from time to time. and let's bring in these 200 colleges and institutions there. Those are having travel and tourism together
Yes.
in a way. Uh, you know, I would like to make a small request to everybody globally, those are watching this particular program and those are associated over here. Being an elder brother and a family member, I would say, don't do PhD just to get a doctorate. Your PhD
Absolutely
should
agree.
have relevance. Your PhD should be meaningful and useful to society, to community, to country, to continent, to global fraternity. Let there be a confluence of the wisdom and vision together coming as a podlock in one system, because today it is no more competition, it's a collaboration. That's what we must learn from pandemic. I think that is something which goes deep down in the heart. Thank you very much, Anil Gadeji. You had come. It was such a pleasure to have you with us, and we will take this journey forward. I am grateful
Sure.
to Saurabh that he had put across to all of us together, and he's doing a wonderful job for all of us. And thank
Thank
you
you,
very
sir.
much. And take care of yourself. Namo Buddhaya, and stay fine. And Buddham Sharnam Gacchami. And that is the way we will take on the whole journey forward. Thank you very much. Thank you. Namaskar. Namaskar. Thank you.